Welcome into the non-neutral zone. It's all about football with Brandon, Josh, and producer Gunner.
All right, welcome back, ladies and germs. We're glad to be back. It's been a long week. Feels like forever.
Calling a germ? There better not be any germs around here.
YouTubes. So this week we're going to go back in. We're going to cover some XFL, our Week 4 overview, including our weekly pick results. I'm crushing Brandon, just so you know. Plus, we're going to get to our daily fantasy outlook with the XFL as well. We're going to hit our That Just Happened segment, our news segment, get you guys caught up on the weekly news with the NFL. This week it's just the NFL, not a lot of news elsewhere. We're going to hit Gunner's halftime show. Woohoo! And then we're going to go right into some NFL Combine reactions and some fantasy football.
Big weekend.
We're going to do all this stuff. You guys are going to love it. So with that being said,
you're going to love it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So let's get into some XFL. So we're going to cut down on the time this week with the XFL due to all the news with the Combine. We're gonna
mainly because there's not a lot happening with the XFL or with my team in the XFL.
his daily team. He doesn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, so we're having trouble breaking 40. Yeah,
so we're gonna roll through that kind of quickly this week because there's a lot to cover in the news and with the NFL Combine as well. So Let's start with our fantasy outlook for the week. Brandon, head-to-head outlook, not looking good for you personally, but was there anybody on your team that you thought did particularly well or particularly bad?
Well, I had 2 players scored in double digits, so that was the positive of my team. When you score 34 points as a team, there's not a lot of positive to go around. So I don't want to even sugarcoat it. But my guys didn't live up to the standard that I expect them to play at, and I'm disappointed in them.
But let's just be real. They're meeting the standard that you've set the past couple of weeks, so no surprises.
Hey, you know what? I did pick the same defense as Josh. I listened to a great podcast, Non-Neutral Zone. I found it on Twitter at Non-Neutral Zone 1, and I listened to the podcast, and I got some great advice from that Josh guy about how to select my defense. And so I selected the defense that Josh guy selected this week, and we both scored 3 points. So,
if I may quote a great war general, General Akbar.
Oh, Akbar.
It's a trap. So I almost guaranteed that we picked the same defense this week. So I don't lose points either way.
Oh, man. You set me up. Well, who was good on your team, Josh? You had a lot more.
I had Nick Hawley. He had 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. I kind of hedged my bet with Cam Phillips. You know, he costs a lot of money to put him on your roster. So I brought in Nick Hawley. He's a lot cheaper, and they use him in different ways on the field. So he paid off.
It seemed like they shaded Cam a little bit this game because he couldn't really get going at all.
It was, kind of anticipated after he blew up 2 weeks in a row that the defense should be keying on him. So as expected. But, this past week, it looks like I'm going to go up 3-1 for the week, right, on the picks?
Yeah, so I'm
going to win this week on the pick. I'm 3-1, right?
No, we agreed on 2 of them, but, we won the 2 that we didn't agree on. So you're 2-0.
Oh, okay, 2-0. Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
Cornhole rules, right? Cornhole.
Yeah,
it cancels out there. I appreciate you just staying quiet there, Gunner. Just let Josh have his moment, and let's move this thing along.
That's what I'm here for, guys.
Yeah, all the glory here for Team Josh this week.
This is the non-neutral zone, but I'm here for your mutual support.
Well, let's go into our pick-em for week 5.
Weekly pick-em.
I'm gonna do better this week. I'm going to do better this week. Okay. So, Seattle at Houston. Who you got, Josh?
I'm going to take Houston just because they're the best team in the league, it looks like.
It's at Houston also.
Yeah, at Houston. No advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to take Phillip Walker, basically.
I'm on – it's not Patrick Walker?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to take Houston also. New York at Dallas. Who you got?
Taking Dallas. It hurts me, but I'm going to take Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. New York is not a good team. Yeah. I know that they beat LA this week, but
it's that traveling team.
Yeah,
traveling east, especially losing those hours.
Dallas is much better than New York, in my opinion. St. Louis. So we agree.
I don't think you're wrong on that. I think Dallas is. They have an excellent team.
St. Louis at DC. Who you got?
I'm taking St. Louis.
Yeah, I've got DC. So here's what we split. So we got a splitter. Woohoo! I'm taking DC. Carl Dale going to get back on the horse and dominate.
The throwing Samoan gonna get lit.
Okay. Tampa Bay at L.A.
I'm taking Tampa.
You're back? Like you're back on the Tressman bandwagon?
Yeah. Well, no.
No.
He gave up the play calling duties, and I think that's helped them. And they're traveling west, so it's not as big a deal as traveling east.
All right, I'm gonna take LA. I'm gonna take LA. So
I don't blame you. They're probably favored. So
yeah, I haven't seen the lines for this coming week, but
yeah, they're not out yet, I'd say.
Yeah, so I'm taking LA. So we've got opposite sides of the fence on those two. So I've got an opportunity to regain control.
You can get that 2-0, Brandon.
Yes,
it could happen.
Well, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Hey, you guys don't seem too stoked on XFL this week. Do you think it's losing its steam?
I don't think so. I think the premier brand with the NFL, they've got the show in town in Indianapolis with the NFL Combine and with free agency kind of ramping up, kind of getting ready for that. It's taken away from them, but it should settle back down in between the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft. There should be enough need for football on the field for people to be excited.
And the games have still been well attended.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
I'm just wondering if it's kind of like losing its staying power.
I think my steam has been lost just because I've been so poor at selecting a fantasy team and picking them.
You just got to remember, part of that's level of competition. You're playing with the master of disaster.
Yeah, so
I'm riding high over
I don't
here,
think
so
that's
I'm going to
it.
keep just lobbing grenades over there.
And I've been distracted with the NFL draft. I mean, with the NFL Combine, so I've been enjoying watching that. So didn't catch as much of the action this week just because there was so much Combine stuff.
And the Combine has been so good. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just do.
We'll get to it.
So
we'll
what's
get to it.
any one big thing from the XFL this week, Josh, that you saw or heard?
Any
or read?
F-bombs? That's what I want to know. We didn't count last week.
I didn't catch any.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they didn't happen, but
They haven't reported any of the past 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't
2
catch
weeks
any
clean. That's boring.
it's a big deal for them.
Well, and they're
Especially for our network television.
Yeah.
yeah. The
One thing I will say though, that the last couple of weeks I've noticed, you've had maybe one high scoring game. There needs to be more scoring. That's a big thing for me right now. They've got to figure out ways to get points on the board, especially with the rules leaning to the offense like they are in the XFL. They've got to be putting up some points.
There was a play in the was it Seattle and St. Louis? Is that who's St. Louis played? I think it was.
Yep.
So where they had a little scuffle after the extra conversion. Did you see that?
That game was chippy all the way through.
It was chippy. So
yeah.
there was some scuffle. They missed some what I felt like were late hits out of bounds, but they called a penalty after the 1 or 2 point conversion, and so they're penalized. The receiving team, they get to kick from closer. The kickoff is, and the coach was livid. I think Jim Zorn was pissed because it moved them close, but if you kick it in the end zone, they get it at the 35. Yeah. So there was no benefit, and I think it's something that maybe they hadn't considered. But I don't know how you clean that up because it occurred to me there's not really a way to do an onside kick in the XFL.
So we saw one. I don't remember how they did it though. Shucks, I can't remember exactly how they drew the play up, but we saw one 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I totally missed it.
And I maybe I dreamed about that. I don't know.
You dreaming about the XFL?
I dream about football all the time.
Oh, well, I mean,
my work never sleeps, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, working hard for you. All right, so but I thought that was interesting. It just was I never really considered.
I do like though when they're down there. Say you decide you're going to go for 3, and they penalize. Say it's a 5-yard penalty or half the distance to the goal, whatever it is. You still get those 3 points even if you're getting closer to the goal line. So I think it's advantageous to go for 3 and then maybe try to draw them off sides or something.
But what if they don't jump off sides and you just try it for the 10?
Oh yeah, I mean you're getting 3 points anyway. Yeah.
Right,
so let's move on into some NFL action.
That just happened.
Okay, this is a segment of the show where we bring you the most up-to-date and happening news in the professional and collegiate world of football. That just happened. First up, Jeff Howe of The Athletic is reporting that Tom Brady is wanting a 2-year commitment from the Patriots.
Who talks to Tom Brady? I mean, who knows what he wants?
His mother.
Yeah. Well, we did see him talking to Julian Edelman after this was released. So.
Yeah, and we also saw him talking to Mike Vrabel. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, the FaceTime.
He was FaceTiming Mike Vrabel at the Syracuse game. I mean, I'm sure he wants a 2-year commitment from the Patriots, but, if apples to apples, is it worth the Patriots to give him $60 million over the next 2 years? I mean,
It's all about that merch.
I mean, his merch is gonna
sell some jerseys.
His merch is gonna, and his TB12 brand is gonna look better in red, blue, and white. But all things equal, I think he'd prefer to stay in there. But I just wonder if the Patriots aren't gonna let him walk to someone else, let someone else pay him $35.
Well, maybe he just doesn't want to move houses.
I mean, he's probably
He's
got a lot
already
of stuff
moved,
in
though,
there.
right?
He has houses everywhere.
Yeah, but I think he's put his house up for sale in the Massachusetts area.
Really?
Yeah, so, and that happened back when he put his kids in school in Nashville. He enrolled them in Nashville schools.
Oh, really? I thought he was just searching
Why
schools.
would he
I didn't
do
realize
that?
they enrolled because he's going to the Titans.
That's the
Is that the
scuttlebutt.
rumor?
They're the third betting favorite. They're the
Yeah.
third team.
I don't know that that's where he's going, but he's in, like I said, enrolled his kids in schools there, and
We
he
have
sold
great
his,
schools in Nashville.
listed his
schools.
house for
Yeah, I'm
sale
sure that-
in Boston.
I mean,
So
guys,
we're going to talk about this until he does something. So
Yeah.
I hope he does something soon, because I'm quite honestly, I'm sick of hearing about him.
You hate him.
Goodness gracious, we've talked about this guy for it feels like 40 years.
That's because he's been around. He's been the GOAT for 20 years,
Oh,
man.
God.
I just have to say, Titans fans are annoying. If they get Tom Brady, I don't think I can handle it.
Well, they might be downgrading at quarterback with the way Ryan Tannehill played.
That's true. Tannehill was playing really good ball. Yeah, that's enough of Tom Brady.
Well, anyway, AJ Green is expected to get the franchise tag from Cincinnati.
I think that's big news myself.
Poor AJ.
Well, okay, so if they get Joe Burrow, you want the guy to have some weapons when he walks in the door.
Oh, for sure.
So now he's got Joe Mixon in the backfield. He's going to have A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd. I don't know if Eifert's going to stick around. He
John
can't stay
Ross,
healthy
yeah.
anyway. John Ross is lightning quick, holds the record for the 40 time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big deal, man, if they can keep him around, because he may get to Joe Burrow, catch some of those balls from the guy. Of course, he doesn't have a great deep ball. He's not like a strong arm quarterback, but he's smart. So if he gets to catch some passes from Burrow, it may change his opinion. He may want to stay in Cincinnati, which I don't know. I think he said he wasn't opposed to it.
Even with Joe Burrow though, or whoever, whatever they draft, like it's a rebuilding in Cincinnati, and I just feel bad for AJ. But if they franchise him and then pay him, good for him.
Quite honestly, I think they just need an offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. I think that's all they need.
That's all they need. Just need an offensive line.
Just saying, they've got pieces in place. I don't think they're that far away from having a good offense.
That division is it's crowded. Baltimore's
It feels that way right now, but a couple things could happen. and it's not
Right,
crowded.
and you don't know how people are going to figure out Baltimore after Lamar blasted onto the scene. But I mean, they could make a run in the next 2 or 3 years. But I'd prefer AJ play somewhere else for AJ's sake.
Yeah.
It's being reported that Phillip Rivers is currently looking at the Colts and the Raiders as his two most likely destinations.
Oh, please send him to the Colts.
Jeez.
Please send him to the Colts.
All right. Let's just be real, audience. I'm just real quick. I'm going to get
Real
intimate
talk.
with you guys.
Get close to the mic.
I'm a
Do the NPR voice.
long time, hardcore Colts fan.
He's wearing a Colts jersey right now.
I've got Joseph Adai draped over my seat.
There is a Colts blanket on the desk.
Colts blanket over my desk. I'm a Colts fan. And I know right now a lot of the Colts fans are saying, oh, Jacoby's not that bad. Or, oh, Phillip Rivers is fine. You guys are wrong. They both suck. We need to move on. We need to draft the quarterback of the future. If we want to bring in Phillip Rivers, that's fine. But I want to see a 1-year deal, very little money, no money guaranteed. And I want that to be the end of it. I want to see him gone. That guy, his technique's always been terrible. His arm has only gotten worse with age, and he's old.
He's also not a very good teammate from everything that you see.
He uses all up his team aspect at home with those 27 children.
Yeah, he's really good at making babies.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, anyways, I hope and I pray that Mark Davis pulls the pocketbook out and just dumps it on the agent of Phillip Rivers. Just pours it all out and say, take it. Take my money.
What has he ever proven?
Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
I don't know. The guy's been on great teams his entire career. I mean, he had LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, Keenan Allen, Vincent Jackson, the guy's never won a Super Bowl. He's had great defenses behind him, great offensive lines.
He's barely won playoff games.
How many Super Bowls does San Diego, before they become LA, how many do they win if they hold on to Drew Brees?
Man,
With that talent.
Yeah, Drew Brees got into a perfect situation where he's paired up with Sean Payton. But, yeah, that didn't work out so well for San Diego. We'll say that.
I don't know if you guys know, but I'm just sick of hearing the Phillip Rivers of the Colts news.
Oh, man.
This is some real talk here.
Yeah, I would enjoy it just for you to be miserable.
I'm going to blow a
all
gasket.
season. Yeah. I mean, would you?
Your cheeks are turning red as we speak.
They really are. So would you rather have beef brisket or Phillip Rivers?
Beef brisket. We know that we're not rolling forward with beef brisket, and I'm afraid that if we brought in Phillip Rivers, we would think that we've got a quarterback for the next few years, and we may hold off in the draft on a quarterback or whatever it is. And I want to know that we're moving on with a young quarterback, a guy of the future.
All right, so I agree with you there. So you guys aren't going to draft a quarterback in the first round, can't imagine. So what quarterback who's kind of a second-tier quarterback would you like to see the Colts draft?
I think draft?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying somebody outside of Burrow and Tua?
Well, obviously,
or where do you draw the line?
Herbert. They're not going to move up to get Herbert. He's going.
So we're picking at 13, high. And I think
You think that you want him to take someone at 13?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, who do you want then? That's possible.
Jordan Love. I'd be fine.
Okay, yeah.
I'd be fine with Love. I'd be fine with Herbert if he fell. I'd prefer Herbert if he fell.
Yeah, go
but Jordan Love's
from
got
some
a lot of
luck
good
to the
measurables.
love.
Yeah. I mean, we got the feelings in Indy, so.
All right. Well,
moving on. Panthers says they're moving forward with Cam. He's still not expected to be game ready, and he's projecting to still be recovering from his surgery until June. I cannot pronounce that word. Josh, you want to jump in?
linsfranc surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, what do you think about that? What do you think about the Panthers saying that they're moving forward with him as their guy?
I mean, I think maybe they're saying it so that someone will trade for him. I like that. That's a serious surgery, like the foot surgery. I mean,
especially for a guy that uses his legs in his game so much.
And he's man. I just go back to this with Cam. He takes up so much space, like so much emotional space in a locker room, on a team, and
so Brady has said that he wants Cam there, but you wonder how much of that is just because of so you need Cam to believe that he's the guy to come in fully bought into what Brady's doing, what the new direction is of the team. If with the timing of the recovery for the injury, the linsfranc surgery, he's not going to be ready in the window that it would take for a team that needs a quarterback, that feels like they're a quarterback away. Right. And they're not going to want to buy in.
And the Bears have said they're rolling with Trubisky, so they're not in the Cam Newton sweepstakes.
I would take Cam Newton over Trubisky.
Oh, I would definitely take Cam over Trubisky. Would you take Cam over Will Grier?
Yeah, I mean, we've not seen much from Will Grier.
But like Will Grier at West Virginia played an offense similar to Joe Brady.
I like Will Grier coming out. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have it as an NFL quarterback. We never know because let's just be honest. The level of competition at West Virginia is not great.
Yeah,
but
they don't play defense there.
Yeah, I mean that conference is not the.
Man, he looked good against the SEC defense he played the first game of the season last year.
Last year?
Yeah, Tennessee. When they played Tennessee at the beginning of the season, yeah, he looked great.
Not last year.
Well, I mean, 2 seasons ago.
Okay,
Yeah, right. His final season was in the NFL last year.
Yep. So for me, it's just going to come down to timing. I don't think they have any other option.
What are they pay? What are they paying Cam? Like, is he guaranteed, or can they cut him with no cap hit?
I don't know the details of his contract, honestly.
I mean, if they could cut him with no cap hit, I mean, I just think that you got to reshuffle the deck and move on.
Do you remember when he signed that contract?
No. I'm just not a Cam fan, dude. He just I mean, he takes up so much space and he's unaware of how average he is. He wants to act like a big shot. He's got his cool outfits and his sweet clothes, but when you're in the Super Bowl, you can't dive on a football that's 3 feet away from you. Then get that.
So it looks like he's supposed to be an unrestricted free agent in 2021.
Okay, so he's got one more. So they could like this. So is all the guaranteed money's already off then? I'm sure he's playing on just contract.
Most of it, I'm sure. Yeah. He signed that contract back in 2015 for $31 million, so it's fully guaranteed. So all of it's
31
million of it was fully guaranteed.
Right, but that came on the front end. So what was the total contract?
Don't know that.
Yeah, I'm having trouble finding it as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'd hide it too if I were
Listeners, jump in and tell us.
103,800,000 was
never
the
mind.
total
Okay.
contract over 5 years.
103. So it's like $20 million a year.
27,
Yeah.
20,760,000.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Sweet cash.
Either way, he's getting a little older for a guy that lays his body on the line and runs the ball. So
doesn't throw it. Yeah. I'm done with Cam. Let's move on. What else you got?
Aren't we all? Okay. Tua is getting positive reports on his surgically repaired hip from teams that are interested in drafting him if they get the opportunity.
I think it's great for Tua. You know, he's had some bad breaks with the injuries, so if he can get healthy.
Pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's proven to be special. I mean, and you hear people that play with him talk about him.
So what do you think of, the Washington Redskins being rumored to draft a quarterback at 2 after they drafted Haskins in the middle of the first last year?
That tells you how bad Haskins is. I don't know if they are, but
Yeah.
Sometimes you just make a bad pick. I saw that rumor where Washington was allegedly looking at potentially drafting Tua.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, I think maybe they're trying to get someone to
Trade up.
Yeah, because they need a lot. They need a lot of help.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just make a bad pick, and we saw with Arizona they cut bait with Josh Rosen, and as it turns out, he's just not that good. Miami traded a third-round pick for him last year, and they already.
Well, let's just be honest, though. It was the Miami Dolphins. They were in pretty bad shape themselves. I think that it's been out of the frying pan and into the fire with Josh Rosen. I'd like to see him get an opportunity somewhere where there's a decent team around him and see if he really does suck that bad or if he's just been in some sucky situations.
Yeah, I mean, he was. But the Dolphins didn't even give him a chance to play. They were tanking, so
Yeah.
they didn't give him a chance to.
If it's me, I'm rolling him out there if I'm.
I'm
Miami.
going to see what he can do, you know, because then you can at least establish all right, we have the quarterback of the future.
Same time, you got to get some people in the seats, and they weren't running in there to see an 0-16 season, so.
For sure. So they were running there to see Amish people play instead of Rosen.
Fitzpatrick's fun to watch, though.
I mean, he does put up points.
And he's got the opportunity to lose you a game single-handedly if he throws that 4-pick game. So
Tua has said that he wants to play for a team where he can sit. That he wants to.
Tua wants to go to Dallas, but it's never going to happen.
I mean, he's not going to make it that
He's
far.
made that clear.
Yeah.
He wants to play for Dallas, and then he comes back and says, but I'll play for whoever drafts me. Of course you will, because it's a draft. You don't have that option unless you're John Elway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. So is that why Dallas isn't paying Dak? They're like, hey, we could just draft Tua, bro.
No way. They know they're not getting Tua, but they know it's a strong draft class at quarterback.
So you think that's why they're not paying Dak? You think Dallas is going to draft a quarterback?
So they're going to pay Dak.
Right,
they're going to
right.
pay Dak because they're going to let Byron Jones walk.
Right.
So I think that's a bad mistake.
Yeah.
It's hard to find reliable cornerbacks in the league. So for me, I'm paying Byron Jones because it's going to be cheaper anyway. You still got more money to work with after you pay Byron Jones.
Oh, for sure. I would handle the inexpensive or the less expensive. It's not inexpensive.
Yeah.
But the less expensive
From a team aspect.
right.
Yeah.
Stuff earlier. Yeah, I mean, because Dak's he's gonna get his money. Like quarterbacks just get paid; they don't let him walk. I wonder, if NFL if owners got together and was like, hey, look, we're not, in almost like formed a union against paying quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's
so
illegal.
Much. Well, I mean, all right.
That's
so don't do that.
They're not allowed to do that.
But what would a quarterback get? What would a quarterback like Dak get on the open market if they didn't pay him? Like he would
They
pout.
get top 5 numbers for sure.
But like, I don't know. Maybe.
I think he would. I mean, he's proven to be a guy that can do it in the league, and and it's guaranteed. You've seen him do it.
Yeah.
You draft a player, you don't know that you're going to get that guy.
Man, I'd love to see some quarterback. I mean, I guess we're going to see, like when Tom Brady hits the open market, we're seeing some quarterbacks move around, which is very uncommon.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun free agent year. I think we're going to see Derek Carr, Tom Brady, lots of guys.
Tannehill,
Mariota. Not just quarterbacks either. It's going to be a legit fun free agency class to watch. And I think, getting back to my Colts a little bit, I think that's why our general manager has not been spending the money, even though we've had it the past couple of years. I think he's been waiting on this free agency class. So I hope he's got a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah. So where do you like Tua going? So circling back to Tua, I mean, in the top, I mean, he's not going to make it out of the top 5.
It comes down to, I don't know. I mean, honestly, a lot of people have been saying Detroit, but Matt Stafford, and that's at 3, but Matt Stafford's wife came out and said, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and if the wife says she's not going anywhere, I'm here to tell you as a married man, we're not going anywhere. So
facts.
So that's not happening. I think probably Dolphins at 5 is probably still what's going to happen.
That's his floor. That's as low as he goes unless someone trades up.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes past there.
I can't remember which team. One of the teams said they actually like Herbert better than they like Tua. And I think that's fair. It just depends on what you want from your quarterback. Tua's kind of a smaller guy, so, you know.
Fun stuff. Speaking of the Cowboys, you guys touched on this earlier. Byron Jones is to become a free agent.
Yep.
Any more thoughts on that, or have you said your piece?
Yeah, I've kind of said my piece. I think it's silly to move on from him, not to pay him, and you know, leave yourself hung out to dry there. Because I'll tell you, we've seen a lot of teams that have been good that have allowed too many points. You've got to score X amount to be in the game, and so I think you got to have those cornerbacks. And, you know, maybe Byron Jones is not a lockdown, put him on an island by himself guy, but that's why he's affordable. And I think it's crazy not to pay him what he would be worth to retain him.
Yeah, I think they should pay him. I don't know. What was he asking?
I don't know that it's been released.
It never came out. Like, how could they be that far apart?
Yeah, I think it's just they know they're going to be up against it with Amari Cooper. They've already paid Zeke. They've got to pay Dak, and that's why I think they're going to pay Dak, because that's the only reason you let Byron Jones walk, especially the news coming out this early in the process.
So would you rather them, or do you think that if they have to pick between Amari or Byron Jones?
I'm letting Amari walk and test the free.
Me too. Because
look at this wide receiver class.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to pay that guy and bring him back unless you don't think that. And where are they picking? They're picking 20 or so.
They're picking at 17.
So they're picking at 17. You know, one of those top wide receivers will be there. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my take on it. I think we're in lockstep there. We agree. So what do you got, Gunner?
All right, next up, Tony Romo received a $17 million per year contract extension from CBS.
I think that's what he got per year on his last contract with the Dallas Cowboys.
I suspect that this is less dangerous for him.
Absolutely. The back injuries and just playing for the Cowboys. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I think that's huge money, man. That's huge money.
That's wild. Good for him.
It's a record for broadcasting.
Yeah.
So.
And
he's earned it. He's been great in the booth. He's fun to watch, listen to in the booth.
So quick. I mean, this is his second year, and he's like so smooth. Like just
it's like he knows what the play's going to be.
Yeah, right. It's the fun in it.
Yeah, and so you know, if he could only went to Fox, you know, him and Aikman could have worked together a little bit.
Yeah, that could have been fun.
Yeah, former
well, I'm sure
Cowboy
that Fox or ESPN, who there was definitely some bidding going on.
There was some bidding going on. ESPN really wanted him, but. You know, they weren't going to pay him that kind of money.
But they got Booger. They got Booger, though.
Thank heavens they've got Booger.
So much Cowboy news.
That guy's terrible.
Do you guys think the Bucs are going to franchise Jameis Winston?
I mean, it's been reported that they are. Man, he led the league in passing. So the question is, do I think they're going to? No. I don't think they do.
I think they probably will. I think they will, and I think they're going to draft a quarterback in maybe the second round and see what they can get out of that guy behind Jameis. I think they're going to use Jameis as a bridge quarterback.
You want to board bet that?
I'll do that.
All right, we'll board bet it. We'll put that on board.
Yeah.
I don't think they franchise him. I think that with all of the veterans that are in the market, I think that what's the guy?
But you want a bridge. But you want a bridge quarterback to already know the system.
I mean, like how much? How long would it take a veteran quarterback like Phillip Rivers to learn the system
Phillip Rivers
as
is not
well
even
as
being
Jameis Winston?
Rumored to Tampa Bay, so you're talking about a guy like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So
David.
Yeah, David's not coming over there. Tampa,
R.I.P.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's been hit too much.
Yeah, he's been hit a whole lot. I just don't see it. I don't think that they're with a bridge quarterback. You want a guy that knows the system, that feels comfortable,
And so they're definitely not going to give him a long-term deal. No way they give him a long-term.
I don't think so.
What if they bring in Mariota, like the number 2 guy in Winston's
I don't
class?
think so.
That'd be fun.
Oh god, I don't think so. I think that they're going to use Winston as a bridge quarterback, and maybe in the process, what may happen. Maybe Winston shows improvement, and then they sign him to the
surgery.
He got the eye surgery, the LASIK. So maybe that could be a possibility. Maybe they want to see what he can do under the franchise tag, and I think he's came out and said that he would play under the franchise tag. So
he wouldn't kick in. He wouldn't go kicking and screaming.
No. So
rightfully so. I mean, he's been a average. I was going to say average, just an average quarterback, and so. If you can get franchised and they'll pay you $33 million for the year, yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, that has been our news segment. That just happened.
That just happened.
Okay, back to my Gunners halftime show. So last week, what did we cover? The coronavirus?
Yeah, we talked about the coronavirus.
All right, this week, so we released a special podcast on Thursday.
Short show spectacular.
Thank you, Josh. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I got you.
You caught me. You're always there for me. So our short show spectacular. Was that right? Short show?
Short show spectacular.
Okay. SSP. SSS. SSS. Anyway, moving on.
Goodness gracious.
Our short show spectacular last week was a mock
wrestling.
Professional wrestling mock draft, kind of like 3-way tag team. So we all
triple threat match.
Yeah, so we all picked, and so what we'll do is we'll go around and say who our picks were, and we threw it up on a Twitter poll. The Twitter poll, I tried to time it so it would be done by tonight. Apparently, I pressed the wrong day, so it's going to end tomorrow. But
more time to vote for Josh, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there and vote.
Yeah, by the time you listen to this, it's probably already closed.
I'm going to intentionally release this on Tuesday, so okay, so
tell them your team, Gunner.
Okay, my team was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Cactus Jack. And my weapon of choice was the table.
Get the tables.
All right, Brandon, what was your team?
My team was the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Sting, and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. With the weapon of choice, the chair, the steel chair.
Great. And Mr. Hill.
Oh, yeah. So the best team of the draft, I had Hulk Hogan, Mankind, and The Big Show with the best weapon, the barbed wire bat.
I just had a question about your team, though, Josh. It occurred to me after we released the podcast. Did you have any issues with your team getting along and working together? Because, I mean, where the Giant, injured Hulk Hogan's neck, I didn't know if they were able to
I think they worked all that out.
Okay. I mean, I was just checking. I thought that might be.
I mean, he who wields the barbed wire bat usually gets along pretty well, so.
So Mankind made him listen?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there a wrestler that you guys, like, afterwards were like, oh, my gosh, man, I should have put them on my team?
I still regret not picking Undertaker.
Yeah.
So one of my favorites when I was a boy, a young lad, was the Ultimate Warrior, and I kind of would have liked to have had him on my team.
Which
even
one?
though the original, the OG,
Okay.
roided up guy going crazy out there. He cut some interesting promos, and also the Macho Man. I loved Macho Man when I was a kid. So there was some nostalgia there where I wish I would have taken some guys that I liked when I was a youngster. But I like my team all in all.
How about you, Brandon?
Yep.
As once it was kind of over and I was rehashing my team, I just felt like I needed some guys who were a little bit dirtier. All my guys were
pretty boys.
They fought fair. They were pretty boys. They
except for the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
But like he wasn't in like a lot of no disqualification matches.
Yeah.
So I felt like I needed just someone dirty. I don't know, like Scott Steiner or Gold Dust. Just someone who.
Yeah. I don't know.
Those
I'd
aren't
rather
like dirty guys.
Those two
more
guys.
pretty
I'd
boys.
rather have anybody that you picked over either two of those. So.
Yeah, but if I was going to add someone, I would add The Rock to my team just to do the promos.
What about you, Gunner? Did you already say? Yeah, Undertaker. That's right. I mean, you could have added Kane to yours, Brandon.
Yeah, would have been cool.
Kane would have been a good.
He would have been.
He would have added some meat to your potatoes.
Mr. Knoxville.
Yeah.
The mayor
they said he's doing a great job.
Yeah, Glenn. What's his last name? Glenn.
Glenn
Something.
Yeah, I don't know. Kane.
Glenn Kane.
Glenn Kane.
All right, so I'm going to read some stats for you guys. The current voting percentages right now. Brandon, you're at 25%. Josh, you're at 33%. And me, Gunner, 42%. I'm in the lead, baby.
I'm texting
little
my
time
four
left.
friends.
We're gonna get some votes going here.
Whatever.
I've sent link, like, just click the link and vote for me, and I can't even get my friends to vote for that. Like,
I think people our age, we're not really into Twitter as much as, you know.
I love Twitter.
But on average, I think.
What are people our age into? Are they more Facebook,
TikTok,
or Instagram?
I think our age is in a weird position that we're kind of shunning Facebook because of the parents, but we're not really into like Twitter that much. We're like in this weird in between thing, I think.
Yeah.
I like Twitter because it doesn't feel as much like social media. Like people don't really know each other as much. They just get on there and
So you can be
get
like
wild.
you can just be a Twitter warrior.
Yeah, I really don't interact with people that much on there. I just like watching.
You're always poking the bear. Josh.
Oh, I will poke the bear.
That's the fun
but
part about Twitter.
Yeah, but I like.
Get in there and
I'd rather
stir up
read
the
comments. Like, if I see an opportunity where people have kind of shied away from it, I'm gonna go in there and stoke that fire, get them going real good. But on the whole, I don't have to do that. They're gonna do that on their own.
I spend most of my time on Reddit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Reddit's a good one too.
Yeah, I don't do anything on Reddit. I'm on Facebook and then Twitter.
Our friend Pat Lynch, he's a good fantasy football player at times. He's big in the Reddit.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of that stinker tinker time at work though that we all don't have. So hey, because you can get down a rabbit hole on Reddit.
Oh yeah, maybe it's a more of a desk job kind of platform. You just sit there and
Reddit.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, because the guys I know that are on Reddit are sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows like when you read comments, the kind of people who comment.
Well, Twitter's easy to do. Like you can scroll it while you're driving, so it's more of a.
Oh no! Wait! We don't condone that.
All right, yeah. Just listen to this podcast while you're driving.
You're just saying it's easy to do, but you shouldn't do it.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm
there
saying.
you go.
Yeah.
And that you don't do it.
Quick hitters. Yeah. Quick hitters.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for joining. That concludes this portion of
Gunners Halftime.
Let's get into some NFL Combine reactions. We had the Combine last week. You guys want to head into it? Josh, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I wanted to start out just talking about by some of the measurements, on the quarterbacks. CBS, they dropped a list pretty soon after they did the weigh-in on the quarterbacks that are coming in, the rookie class. And I was curious if there was anything that stood out to you, Brandon, anything that popped into your mind there on the measurements.
Not notably in terms of like quarterback, you mean?
Yeah, just among the quarterbacks.
The big thing that stood out to me was I guess I just didn't realize it, but Tua's a little guy. I didn't realize. I mean, 6 foot's not like little. I mean, it's much taller than I am.
It's small for an NFL quarterback.
Right. So they just, you haven't heard anything about his height, and people question like, can he play at the next level? He's only 6 foot tall. They just hadn't heard anything about that, and so when I read it, I thought, oh, well, that's interesting.
Well, I think because the previous year we saw Kyler Murray come in, and he's a lot shorter than 6 foot, I believe. I think they measured him at 5'10", but I don't think that guy's 5'10".
He was on his tippy toes.
Yeah, so I think that maybe that's why, because last year was such a bigger story because he was so much smaller, and maybe it's just kind of tired. That story may be a little tired.
I could imagine being 5'10" playing in the NFL.
No, you better be fast.
That would be so like.
I don't think you're fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about like back in college when the football players walk through the gym and I'd see them. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so small.
Yeah, I mean, just for context, Jordan Love measuring in at 6'3", 224.
That sounds like an NFL quarterback.
Exactly. So
is that who you like kind of was notable like of the quarterbacks like
I thought he won that area of the pre-draft ordeal,
Huge wingspan. He gorilla arms.
Yeah, I mean, he's athletic. He throws the ball well. Seems to be an intelligent guy. I think he's a good prospect. I think he's in another draft class. He may be the number one pick this is just a loaded draft class.
It's so loaded.
The offensive skill group is just loaded, man. It's off the charts. So
one of the other things I just like looking at the results, and I had thought about this. We might have talked about it off air, but that you saw the tweet from Joe Burrow about his little hands considering retiring. Did you see that, Gunner?
Nope.
So he basically they're making a big deal because he only has 9-inch hands, which is
9.25. 9.25 is the line for quarterback where they kind of start looking at some concerns as far as they're going to be able to grip the ball, fumbling issues, all that kind of stuff. So with him having 9-inch hands, they're kind of concerned about it.
And so he tweeted out, "I'm thinking about retiring now because I can't hold on to the football."
So the same thing with
Swagger.
With Jake Fromm.
Well, that's what I was going to say is no one was hammering him.
Well, they did, though. They came out, and Jake Fromm came to the podium. He's like, these are the same hands that went through 3 SEC championship games. So
his team went to 3 SEC championship games despite him.
Yeah, and he didn't test well at the Combine as expected, but
he's fallen. I mean, he was listed in some first-round mock drafts.
He finds ways to win games at times, but he needs a quarterback guru is what he needs, a coach that really understands quarterbacks. Bruce Arians could probably do a lot with him. He makes quarterbacks better in his system. So, I don't think he's getting drafted high, but yeah, I just thought, while we were talking about the hand size, yeah, we could probably move on there.
So we talk about the hand size. Is there a measurement or a some measurement that they do at the Combine in total that you think is overblown or doesn't matter? Like, does hand size really matter?
Yeah, my wife would say yes, but so we could, yeah, for me. So me and my friend Mark play dynasty fantasy football with him. We actually talked about this earlier in the week about pass protection from running backs, and I think that the weight to height ratio, more importantly, I think that matters a lot, and so on those weigh-ins, when you see running backs that weigh in at, 210 plus, 215 plus, depending on their height,
they're probably going to be able to block.
They're going to be able to block better. They got more in their shoes, more in their cleats, to kind of stop those ends, those linebackers that are coming around the edge 100 miles an hour. You need somebody that can get up there and really knock them back. And if you're a smaller stature guy, under 6 feet, 5'10", 5'9", some of those small guys, you can do it at a lighter weight because you're more boxy,
compact, right?
Yeah, but for me, that's the measurement that I looked at the most this offseason as far as how it's going to apply to how I rank players moving
because
forward.
It means you think playing time, just like they got to be on the field.
Yeah, you got to be on the field,
yeah.
And if you're going to be a 3-down back, you have to be able to pass protect in today's league because you're not running the ball like you did 10, 15 years ago.
That's a throw-in.
So what about you, though? What measurements did you look at?
I mean, I think in terms of like just raw measurements, not like 40 times and stuff like that, or but the one I think is maybe overblown, and we've just seen it kind of debunked in the last few years, is quarterback height. I think you're seeing a trend towards you're rolling out quarterbacks like if they
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, if they could throw a good ball, I think that that's trumping the picture, like, oh man, they look like a quarterback.
I think you're right as long as you've got a coach that knows how to move the pocket within his scheme. Sean Payton, like you were saying earlier, marrying up with Drew Brees.
Oh man, yeah,
that's perfect because Sean Payton knows how to make his offense suit a quarterback under 6 foot. So he's able to move that pocket, and Drew Brees is not a fast guy, but he's able to move it in a way that suits Drew Brees' skill set.
Yeah, so I think that I don't know how I feel about hand size, like whether it matters. There's people that are paid more than I am to debate the hand size of grown men, but I think that the height thing is definitely whether you're 5'10" or 6'4", like you can make it in the NFL if you can throw the football good.
Yeah, and you have to land in the right situation, like we said. So.
All right, so what were the biggest surprise performances in the Combine this year? Brandon.
I would so surprising is tough because I think that I go in with a blank slate. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I was surprised at just the sheer speed by some of the big guys. But specifically in terms, I guess like just not breakout, but surprise performance. Isaiah Simmons was just a beast, and I did some hardcore research. I looked up. I've got Isaiah Simmons rivals. He was a 3-star He's the linebacker, defensive player from Clemson, is who we're talking about. And he was a 3-star recruit back in 2016. I want to read you his offers. He had 13. Clemson, Arizona State, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Louisville, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska. Does that sound like a guy that...
I mean, you would expect a lot more SEC schools on that list.
I mean,
but I don't know what – I'm not looking at the stuff you're looking at. Our screens aren't tied together. But maybe he hit a growth spurt, and maybe it's just the way they develop players at Clemson.
Man, it's just not – he's from Kansas, man.
Yeah, I mean, but look at – so this is a different sport, but look at Anthony Davis. When he went to Kentucky, he left high school as a guard. Yeah. He was, under 6 foot, and now he's, 6'8"?
So nimble, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a ball handler that's so big. So, Simmons, I'd say he probably hit a growth spurt, maybe he was big, but he wasn't developed. Maybe he's just raw. And Dabo just knows how to develop those guys. Maybe that's what it is. And we've seen a lot of good defensive players comes out of Clemson, so that's a strong possibility.
Yeah. So so the fact that, I mean, I don't know. I just love that story. Just being a 3-star kind of diamond in the rough guy, and the diamond paid off. So
well, it's paying off. He got the bag this week.
He got paid, dude.
Yes,
he's going to get paid.
Yes,
we can debate that later. Whether
I think he's going to be a top 5 pick now.
He has to be.
You may see somebody trade up to get him. I'm not sure.
I mean, especially as versatile as he is, I think that's what was so impressive. He's 230, 239. Is that what? He ran.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. But he ran a 4.39 at 230 pounds. Blazing fast.
So now there's all the conversation. What position is he going to play? Do you line up at safety, linebacker, defensive end, edge?
With that versatility, man.
He's a defensive weapon.
Yeah. He can guard the slot, or he can get to the quarterback in 0.3 seconds.
Yeah. Jeez. I hope he's not in the AFC South.
Unless he's on the Tennessee Titans, then I'm cool with that.
Yeah, or the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. So who was your surprise performance of the week end?
So I was expecting DeAndre Swift to do well, but as a Georgia fan, there had always been questions around his top-end speed, his breakaway. Once he gets into the second level, is he going to be able to take it to the house if he's further than 20, 30 yards from the end zone? Right. Is he going to get caught from behind? He kind of dispelled those questions when he ran a 4.48 40, and to maintain his draft stock, he just needed to get in the 4.6 range. Well, he crushed that.
Yeah.
So his stock just went up, and
he's viewed as the number 1 back, right? That's where most of them have on the big board.
Jonathan Taylor.
No, man, I've seen Swift. I think Kuiper and McShay have Swift higher than Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Well, let me clarify. I think both those guys are idiots. So
Taylor definitely jumped him based on his
don't like Jonathan Taylor because he's a Wisconsin running back, but
system.
It's system, and they run the tread off of him, man.
Yeah, well, that's my concern with him is he's had 900 over 1,000 carries.
Yeah, and it's that way with all of those running backs. I mean, okay, so we've seen some success from Melvin Gordon, but he's had a lot of injury concerns during that time as well.
And he's been better when he has a timeshare. Now with Eckler, he's been better the past 2 or 3 seasons, but
what was the back from Wisconsin that got drafted early by Denver a few years ago, and now he's out of the league?
Ball.
Yeah, Monte Ball.
Yeah.
He's where is he now?
He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I mean, he was on a lot of people. He was so hyped up coming into the season, but so many carries. They're tired.
Yeah,
I mean, they're worn down by the time they get into the league. But yeah, so DeAndre Swift for me, Jonathan Taylor, I don't want any part of it. I know he's going to get a lot of hype for dynasty owners out there, but I'm telling you, you may get a season, but I'm not looking for a long career from Jonathan Taylor. I'd rather have Akers.
Well, again, it depends on the situation he gets into. Well,
I think that the NFL is still the NFL, and you're still going to get hit. I don't care what system you get into. Those carries are going to take their toll on you.
Okay, moving on. Anything about bench presses that you guys saw that stuck out?
It was kind of like 32 was the high. I mean, which that's a lot of reps, but it wasn't no one blew it out. And I think that sadly. It's being proven that that's not very. It's not important to it's not a football translatable skill. So, as fun as it is to watch, it wouldn't surprise me if 5 years from now they're not doing that at the combine.
Okay,
they've migrated.
Fair enough. So, most impressive performance.
Can we talk about the 40 times? Do you want to talk about 40 times at all, or do you want to move on to?
Yeah, hit them real quick.
Okay. Cool. What do you got there, Brandon? What did you think about the 40 times?
So my guy Henry Ruggs ran the fastest 40. So I just want to state that I was terrible at XFL fantasy, but I crushed it on that pick with Henry Ruggs. And there was a moment. Huge Tennessee Vol fan here. There was a moment in our season where we were playing Alabama, so Tennessee versus Alabama. We're down there. Great game for most of it, and we were. Alabama was driving, and Nigel Warrior of Tennessee intercepts it in the end zone, and it's a wide. He's just like a pick six from the end zone, so he can run 100 yards back. Nigel gets a 20-yard head start, and at the time I just thought an Alabama wide receiver runs him down. He has a 20-yard head start. He catches him before the 50, and I thought, man, he is running in cement. Nigel Warrior's. A college, SEC safety.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's an all SEC safety athlete. Yeah, but he was just run down. Well, come to find out, it may not be that Nigel's so slow, but Henry is just
Ruggs is lightning.
My goodness,
yeah, he's lightning in a bottle.
Easy speed.
Yeah, for me on the 40s, it was just the running backs that solidified their draft stock. Jonathan Taylor with a 4.39, Akers with a 4.47, and DeAndre Swift with that 4.48 that we talked about. Like I said, I think they solidified their draft stock, and all three of those guys were smooth in the receiving drills as well. So they're going to do well at the next level.
And let's not forget the big guys running the 40.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Weirf, the Iowa guy? Or Wirfs ran a 4.85 at 320 pounds.
Yeah, is that what you found most impressive from the draft, the big guys?
Oh yeah, yeah, just how they didn't make guys like this in 1995. Just the development or the advancement of man.
It's in the water.
We just, people train differently now. Even individuals that aren't professional athletes, they train harder than what athletes did.
Yeah,
in 95. So it's a different, they've got programs in place on how to make people better.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
Bigger, faster, stronger. We see it on the television every Sunday, every Saturday at college level. So,
let's not forget that vitamin T.
That's true too. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was Chase Claypool, though. That's who
most impressive.
Yeah. Notre Dame, he's 6'4", 238. He's a huge guy.
He's got a big target.
So big. Yeah. A lot of teams are asking him to work out as a tight end. And, he ran a 4.45 40. So, think about that guy playing tight end.
Yeah, you think they're going to move him? I don't think they're moving tight end.
If I'm a coach, I want him at wide receiver.
Yeah.
If nothing else, because he and Calvin Johnson, they're the only two wide receivers with that stature.
Yeah.
To run a sub 4.4, sub 4.5.
That's good company to be in.
And I hope he plays wide receiver. I hope we get to see another Megatron.
Yeah.
I don't know that we will because he's an all-time great, but it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, I love that. He also did 19 reps on the bench, so he's no slouch there. Just a strong guy. My most impressive guys were Tristan Wirfs of Iowa, and then the McKee Becton.
Yeah.
From Louisville, and I was reading the article in the Athletic about Becton, and it talked about when Scott Satterfield came in after Bobby Petrino.
Yep.
Killed the Louisville program.
Bailed out. Yeah.
Yeah. But Satterfield came in, and Becton was 385 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't make it through a practice.
Well, he's not much smaller than that now,
No,
right?
he's 360 now, and he ran a 5.1. 5.1.
Flew. Well, and he came in the interview saying that he was going to be the most versatile tackle in the draft. He didn't do anything to disprove that.
So we had this conversation. We're on the 40s still, sort of. We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, I think. Can you run a 5-second 40?
Well, you asked me if I could run under 6.
Under 6.
I can run under 6.
Okay.
I feel like.
Yeah, we still need to set this up. Video recorded.
We're gonna do this. Yeah.
Let me know the date because I need to make sure I don't overeat that day.
We're gonna have a non-neutral zone combine.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah. People might pay to see that. So under 6, that was it.
Under 6. Right.
I don't think you can run under 6. Laser timed.
I can run under 6. We're not gonna have a laser timer. Let's just be honest.
I'm sure we could dig one up.
I'll go hit up Goodwill.
If any of our listeners has a laser timer that we can borrow, I need to get Josh on it.
Yeah.
Use your garage door opener. So whenever the door starts to open. All right.
But yeah.
So all in all, the combine, fun, boring, great. Loved
It's great. I mean,
They're doing a great job.
like I said
producing it.
earlier, this may be one of the best draft classes we ever see. I think it's going to be top 5 all time from now till ever.
It feels like it.
Gosh, man, there's so much
It
talent.
feels so much deeper than last year.
Yeah. I mean, and our Twitter account manager earlier posted, if you're in the top 20 picks, you're getting a great player unless they get cute. So I thought that was genius by that Twitter account manager.
That's
and who might that be?
I think his name Josh. I think he's Josh. He's a pretty smart guy,
yeah,
right?
but like how can you argue with any pick in the top? Like I agree,
Can't, unless you just get silly.
Well, or if you, I think some teams might reach for a quarterback and they shouldn't. So like we could kind of debate or criticize that pick, but golly, it's deep. Like
but how far would you have to reach even at quarterback in the top 20? I mean, there are 5 or 6 legitimate arguments after Joe Burrow for who should be taken next. In my opinion, I don't think it's Tua.
Yeah, who do you think is the second? You think Herbert?
I think Herbert, and then maybe even Love over Tua. I'm not hyped up on Tua, man. I think he's small. I think he's injury prone. There's a lot of questions about him.
I just like his name.
Tua.
Yeah.
I think he's, there's some, this is unrelated to the NFL, but there's some debate that wherever Tua gets drafted, his brother Talia, who is a quarterback at University of Alabama, and is the backup because Mac Jones is the projected starter.
That's crazy.
That after spring practice, Talia is going to transfer to wherever Tua gets drafted to. So if Tua were drafted to Miami, they're predicting that that Talia might.
So let's say he goes to Detroit. You think he's going to go to the University of Michigan?
That's what they're like. That's the type of that's the conspiracy
relationship
theorists.
they have.
Yeah, and that's the relationship of the family.
Wow.
That's cool.
I mean, it would be cool to see him have that kind of commitment to his brother.
He's also not getting to play at Alabama, so I mean.
I can't believe that either. I think Alabama's got to let him play.
But what if Mac Jones beats him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to? Do you think he's a better quarterback?
Well, they like Talia. They wouldn't even play him this year. Like,
They wanted to redshirt him. That's a big reason why.
Yeah, but they could still play him in 4 games, and they chose not to. Yeah, you would think that it's in the genes because Tua is special.
Yeah.
You think Talia is at least kind of special. So
Yeah. Maybe he can stay healthy. Who knows?
yeah.
Well, that's been fun. Fun combine news.
Fantasyland.
All right, welcome into Fantasyland. We have some lightning rounds for you guys. Seems like you guys enjoyed that last time. If you didn't, don't tell us. If you did, continue to tell us. All right.
Because we're doing it anyways.
Yeah,
love the
nothing's
lightning.
going to stop us. Okay, so this is how it works. All these options are assuming close to the same draft cost and half-point scoring, okay? All right, first up, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon.
It's Joe Mixon for me all the way. I mean, he finished his RB11 on the Cincinnati Bengals last year. Going to assume, they're going to have their quarterback situation worked out. They're going to get better. They're going to fix their offensive line. I mean, it's Joe Mixon for me 100%. No Ryan Finley at quarterback this year for him. So for me, it's Joe Mixon.
Brandon.
So for me, I'm going with Nick Chubb. I think that the Browns were riding a little high on their horse last year. Baker Mayfield did too many commercials. I think this year they come back refocused, re-energized, and I think Chubb will benefit from that. I also think he'll benefit from having a little timeshare or just having a relief back with Kareem Hunt, take some pressure off of him. And just in general, I'm leery of all Bengals. So
I mean, I love Nick Chubb as a Georgia fan, but
right.
I mean, Joe Mixon. I mean, he's turning 24 this year. He may be the same age as Nick Chubb.
Yeah, he may be.
You know what I'm saying? So there's not a huge age gap. And I mean, he was averaging over 4 yards a carry last year behind that offensive line.
Right.
It's going to get better.
I just think that I would rather have a piece of the Browns offense than the Bengals offense.
I think that's debatable.
Oh, it's certainly debatable.
This is lightning round, so we can't debate it. Take Joe Mixon. Moving on.
All right. And
Chubby. I'm taking Chubby.
I love that name, Chubby Wubby.
Mixon.
Okay. Lev Bell or Miles Sanders?
Give me Miles Sanders all day. This isn't even close.
Okay.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's probably not that close if you want to take Lev Bell because he's going to have the volume. The Eagles have showed us they don't want to run one running back into the ground. They want to use a timeshare. You don't know what you're getting from Miles Sanders.
No, but they showed us at the end. You saw Miles Sanders come on at the end of the season, and I don't know what he was in the last 4 games, but he was probably a RB10 in the last 4 games.
I mean, he was good, but a lot of that was off of his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. I want a guy that can do it in all phases.
Yeah, I don't know if Lev Bell's a top 15 back.
I mean, we're going to disagree on this one.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, Lev Bell's getting a little longer in the tooth, and Miles Sanders is young. Yeah. And Adam Gase sucks. And all that, I mean, all that goes in your favor.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day.
And if you think about the division that Lev Bell plays in, man, like against the Patriots, against the Bills.
Yeah, but the Bills are a run funnel defense. They let the opposing team run the ball.
Yeah.
And they're going to make you beat them with that.
Well, this is the lightning round, so you can have Lev Bell.
I'll take him.
Next up.
Okay, next up, Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees?
Drew Brees. Dome. Soft schedule. Mike Thomas and AK.
I can't argue with you. I'm Drew Brees, too. I mean, I don't think either guy's going to cost what they did before, so it's not like you can take either one and feel comfortable, in the later rounds of the draft.
Both have very high floors, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
Safe
maybe
floors.
not week to week for Aaron Rodgers if it's anything like this past season, but another year in that system, it may get better. I don't really trust Matt LaFleur. I think he's a question mark. Titans' offense got worse with him as offensive coordinator rather than improving when he came from the Rams being the quarterback coach over there. So I think it's close, but that run to pass ratio is going to limit the opportunities for Drew Brees a little bit. They've started running the heck out of the ball, man, and you got Murray there with AK.
Yeah, I think they're gonna draft a receiver though, and I think you might see them open it up a little bit.
I think they've got receivers though. I think that's how they want to win games. I think they want to run the ball. They want to do the underneath stuff. They want to space teams out and then maybe try to hit them over the top with Ted Ginn occasionally.
Well, this is a rare moment where we agree, Josh.
Yeah.
So let's not spend too much.
Let's just relish in it.
Yeah, let's just appreciate
Spoil the moment.
5-4 Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Okay, well, next up, Darren Waller or Austin Hooper? Go.
I'm going to take Hooper. I mean, depending on the landing spot, because he's going to be a free agent, he's going to get paid handsomely, and he deserves to be. But for me, it's him. Darren Waller's just not shown me enough yet,
Yeah, I'm going Darren Waller the baller. I think that a second year or a third year really in Gruden's offense is going to be helpful, and his touchdown target share, he's going to get those touchdown passes. He had a ton of volume, but he would get vultured by the other tight ends, and I think that he's going to start. He'll catch some touchdown passes this year, and it will help his numbers.
Touchdowns are fluky, so you could be right there, but we may not see Derek Carr, and so if that's the case, then he may not. The new quarterback may not rely on Waller as much as what Carr did. So and plus, you saw regression when the other receivers got healthy. Who's the Clemson receiver? Renfro, Hunter Renfro. Yeah. When he got healthy and came in, that's when you really saw a downtick in Waller's production. And I don't want a guy that I have to rely on. I mean, Hooper did it with Julio and Ridley. All these guys were healthy in the offense with him at the same time, and Hooper was the preferred target. So I like that in my tight end.
Yeah, well, I think that with Renfro and these guys being healthy, it will take some of the attention off of Darren Waller because defenses were key. But
that's not what happened.
Who is he going to throw it to?
That's not what happened.
Well, but like when Renfro just came on the scene, they're like, hey, he's just that short little white guy. We don't have to guard him. So they weren't giving him any attention. They were still shading Waller.
So here's the bad news. Renfro's still going to be short and white.
Yeah, but now they're going to have some. They're going to be like, all right, cool, he can play.
They're
this
not
level.
keying on Hunter Renfro.
No, but they might put a safety like slide one over his way.
I think you're being silly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But like they are. It's going to take some attention off of Waller. Like Waller is getting the.
I mean, they've got to bring in an alpha to do that. What they have there currently is not going to take attention away from anybody. I mean, they brought the number 2 in from LA from the Chargers. Yep, Sarah Williams. They brought him in. He's not an alpha. Hunter Renfro's definitely not an alpha. So you got to have that guy come in that just says, you're going to double cover me or I'm going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
And unless they do that.
That could be Waller could grow into that guy. So
Waller's full grown.
He is a grown.
He's grown. He's not getting any bigger. And
mentally grow into that guy.
Maybe so. I don't know. I just want to see it.
He's going to play every game.
Send more draft costs. I'm taking the guy I've seen it from before.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on. That was quite some lightning there.
So fast. Okay, next up, DJ Moore or Odell Beckham?
I like Odell, man. I think Odell's a game winner. He's the type of guy that can put up 35 or 40 in a game. And just like with Chubb, I think that the Browns are going to refocus and re-energize, and they're going to realize that maybe we should just practice more and we should have some discipline and not worry so much about commercials and our image and all of that. And I think his chemistry is going to be better in year 2 with Baker. So I'm rolling with ODB.
Yeah, I mean, so it may just be because I don't like him. I'm not sure. It may be because I really like DJ Moore, but I'm going to go with him here. Even though he let me down in the fantasy championship, he took that concussion on one of the first plays of the game, and it cost me. It cost me the championship. But
is that against Micah?
Yeah, against Micah Watson.
Oh man.
Yep. So ODB.
So why do you like
Micah Watson getting talked about in the same conversation?
Why do you like DJ then, other than?
I mean, he's so safe, man. The way that he scored points last year, he didn't have a high touchdown number, so it's easy to predict the stats that he's going to have because he's a reception hog. He yak yards after the catch for days, so he's going to have plenty of opportunities, and in the quarterback situation can only get better.
Yeah, why are they not even? We talked about Cam earlier. Why are they not even talking about Kyle Allen? Is he not an option there?
So maybe Brady just doesn't like him. Maybe it doesn't fit what he wants to do. I mean, that whole front office is different now.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know why they don't. I mean, and he looked good at times, but did he really look like a guy that can take you to the Super Bowl at any point?
Does Cam? I know he took him to a Super Bowl.
I mean, he's done it.
Yeah,
at least he's.
So the thing I like about Odell is that Baker, the first pick in the draft, is throwing him the ball. Like, he didn't get picked first because he's cute. Like, he's good at the football. So
I think Baker's a good quarterback. I know there are people out there that don't, and I don't know if you saw the news or not that he's going to be slimming down a little bit. He gained some weight last year, and it took away some of his quickness in the pocket because he's one of those guys. He's not. What is he, 6 foot or 5'11"?
Yeah, smaller guy.
He's a smaller guy. He's an Oklahoma quarterback, and that's what they are. But maybe that helps ODB's situation, but he's not able to stay healthy these days either. Like, he's not been able to stay on the field.
I think he just doesn't want to play. If he quits early, if the team's out of contention, he checks out. But
I heard he came out and said he wanted to get traded to the Jets. Who's trying to get into the New York Jets? I question his decision making.
Yeah, I think he might have some.
You want to get on the DJ Moore wagon? I'm all aboard.
Nah, if ODB's playing for the Jets, then I'm on DJ Moore wagon. But.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Cam, any quarterback that they want to roll out, or Sam Darnold and Adam Gase.
Well, see, I like Sam Darnold.
With Adam Gase?
It's the Adam Gase.
I don't think Sam Darnold likes Adam Gase either. So they got into it on the sidelines a couple of times last year.
Was it during the Ghosts?
Right after the game after.
Story, yeah. I'm just not an Adam Gase fan, but that's me. So I'll roll with ODB. I'll draft him for DJ Moore. If they're on the same team, you want to board bet that? I mean, that's a futures bet.
Yeah, I'll take DJ Moore over ODB. I don't care where he goes.
Man, we can't hold it on the board bet. Yeah, we'll just keep up with it, but we can't hold on to that till the end of next season.
Yeah,
I'll forget about then.
No.
Well, and I want to ask you, listener, sitting in your car or your bathtub or at work, who has the best pick? Josh, Brandon, who do you agree with the most? Who do you dislike the most? Let us know at Non-Neutral Zone 1 on Twitter.
You want to put up a poll?
For each one, or just for that last one? We could do a poll in general.
Yeah, we could do a team poll.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Go in there.
Our
find
picks
a poll.
versus my picks. So if you want the winner, you vote for Josh. If you don't, you vote for Brandon. I mean, everybody likes an underdog at some point. So
you don't need to put up with that, Brandon.
I'm just going to let my actions speak for me. I don't need to.
We'll let the poll decide.
I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. So bring on the action. I'm good. You and your XFL fantasy suckage.
All right.
Well, either way, pop on Twitter, give us a follow, let us know. And if you need to get a hold of us, you can email us at nonneutralzone@gmail.com. That would be fantastic if you want to talk to us about anything at all. We have a Facebook page up now. Facebook.com
So
/non-neutral-zone.
We reached the olds on Facebook.
Yeah, drop us some questions, mailbag questions. We'd like to touch that.
Yeah, if you got any questions,
on
we'll read them out loud and see what you think. Or we'll give our opinions on your questions. That would be fun. Yeah. Send us some questions. nonneutralzone@gmail.com. Or send us a question on Twitter. Or send us a question on Facebook.
That's all our tags. So
yeah, we're everywhere. nonneutralzone.com, wherever you want to go. And don't forget to we're still in the early stages of the podcast, so don't forget to leave us a great like and review on your podcast app of choice. Subscribe so you never miss another episode. And I think that's the end of Non-Neutral Zone.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen and don't fall into the neutral zone.